Alright, I'm going to get started on the LS roof blown build. For more information on the parts I'm using for this engine build, please check out my past video titled What's Going On in the Shop. It shows you the blower, the intake, and why I'm not going to use the block that you see in this video. Please check that out if you have any questions. And if you have any other questions, feel free to post them in the comments below and I'll try to get to them. First thing I need to do is strip this thing down to the get the crankshaft out, so that means every single thing out of this needs to come out. And also I'm most likely going to use the other block I showed you, unless this one looks like it's pretty repairable. But we'll see how that pans out later. But first things first, got to get this crankshaft out. I know there's a lot of things on here I'm not going to save, like the V-loom valve lifter oil manifold for the active fuel management. That's going to go bye-bye. Save the bolts out of it, chuck everything else. The lifters and lifter trays, they're all different than the factory vanilla 7 lifters. So I'm going to get rid of all that stuff and we're just going to get to stripping this thing down. This is about all these are good for. Boom, that's what I'm after. Alright, it's kind of a junkyard way of doing it, I'll admit. It's not the most professional way, but I didn't really care about the block. I want to get her tore apart and get the crankshaft out, so tomorrow I'll take it up to Mashmeyer Performance Engines, get double keyway, build this thing. Probably have to just do a general polish on the journals on the crank. And I'll finish stripping this block down, get all the little plugs and everything out of it. And take the other block down, get her washed up, and knock some new cam bearings in. We'll start building this roof blown LS motor. And we'll stick it in something, I'm not sure yet, but we're going to find something to put this bad boy in. Alright, it's been a little bit since I've had this block machine. It's been sitting here for probably close to 2 months. Even though in this video it doesn't show up that way, because he machined my crankshaft wrong, so I sent the crankshaft back to him to get the other keyway cut in, and I'm still waiting on it. But I'm going to go ahead and proceed on with the block as much as I can. As soon as you get block back from machining, I knock the cam bearings out of it, and then I take it to a car wash and I wash it out really, really good. Because after they hone the cylinders or deck the block or whatever, the metal shavings get everywhere, and if any of it gets in the oil galleries, it can be disastrous for you. So I bought me a cheap cam bearing installer years ago, and it's paid for itself by now. Instead of paying a machinist to do this, engine builder, whatever, I just do it myself. I think it's like $100 for this, and I've already done like 3 or 4 engines with it. And usually when you have a shop do it, it's at least $50 to have them do it. So I'm going to knock all these cam bearings out, take the block up, get it washed off, and when I get back I'll knock the cam bearings in it, and then hopefully get my crankshaft real quick, because I need a crankshaft so I can set up the rest of my blower stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and knock the cam bearings out. One thing I do like to do before I knock them out is just put a little mark on the bottom of all the bearings if I can, and number them as they come out, because LS cam bearings are different from the front to the back. It's two the same, then the middle, if I remember right. So I always like to mark them just to make 100% sure when I go back together that I'm doing it right. Most people would normally do this on an engine stand, but this thing here is working good for me because I'm not really ready to start building it, so I'm just going to use this for now. Mark my cam bearings at the bottom just so I know the exact orientation, even though I know usually where the holes go, but it's just extra assurance for me. I got my chosen size of the bearing tool figured out here. Here's my first one. Alright, this is the last one, so this will be cam bearing number 5. Got the bottom mark there. Number 5. A little comb to help center it up. Just repeat that process for all of them. Alright, I took this block over to the car wash to wash it up, and in the process of drying it, I noticed this. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's got a little indentation right there in the deck. So I'm taking it back to the machine shop, see if they can deck it, or if not, maybe they could weld it and then redeck it. Another small setback. He said he should be able to have it done by the end of the week, so we'll see what happens. Alright, here's my crankshaft. I got it back from the machine shop. It's got double keyway cut in it now. I got some main studs and some head studs from ARP. That's going to be the extent of the performance parts I think I put in it, other than camshaft. Unfortunately, that's the way I'm going to have to end this first update on the Roots LS engine build. The machine shop has my block because I showed you that part that was kind of messed up on the deck surface. They're supposed to have it finished last week, but they didn't. He called me today and said he was working on it, so hopefully this week I can pick it up, get started, get the short block assembled. I got a camshaft recommendation from Texas Speed, so I'm probably going to go with that. It's a whole kit. We'll get that put in, and then even before that I can start fabbing up the throttle bodies on the blower. I need to order some aluminum for that, figure out where all the injectors are going to go, and just go from there and kind of play it by ear on this deal. I'm just going to kind of make it up as I go along. Anyways, thanks for watching, and as always, please like and subscribe.